I don't remind. So, good morning or good midday, everybody. Welcome to the People Speaks Out. It's the Monday, the 29th of June, nearly at the end of the 6 months. And we've just had summer solstice last Sunday, a week last Sunday. And I held a ceremony at Arbor Low, a beautiful stone circle in Derbyshire. It was absolutely magnificent, and it was wonderful to see actually a constant stream of people over sort of the whole day from like sunrise to sunset coming to this place. It was absolutely wonderful, with wonderful energies and really good uplifting feelings that everyone brought. However, somebody who got there before me had said, "Oh, I've just been to this place called Gib Hill, which is behind the stone circle, and it's like this mound that sort of rises up. It obviously is man-made." And he said, "I've just been there," and he said the energies are so different to this stone circle, even though it's only about 200 yards away. He said, "Why do you think that is? Go and have a feel." I said, "I don't need to." And he said, "Why?" I said, "I can just sense that that's where they hung the witches, or hung, the criminals, or what they thought were criminals, on that particular hill." And it turned out that was right. And so that's why the energies were so different. But Arbor Low and many stone circles were taken over, the energies were taken over by the dark forces. But Arbor Low has been cleared. So it's a beautiful one. If you're ever in Derbyshire, I recommend you go and visit it. So,
Sas, sorry to interrupt.
all right,
I bumped into you there, didn't I?
you did.
2 years ago.
Was it 2
I
years
was
ago?
just leaving and you were just arriving. And I thought, that looks like Sas. I'd only ever seen you on the screen. That was
Well,
weird.
that was lucky then, wasn't it? You can see me in the flesh. I actually do exist. I'm not a hologram. So, so yes, it was wonderful. Was it 2 years ago? Was it with
Yes. Yeah.
MJ Roberts?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't here this year, but there was a constant stream. It was actually was wondering what to do because there's only a very small amount of space for cars actually on the farm track. And when I arrived with all my gear, there was probably about 50 cars lined up on the road. So I was thinking, what's the chance that there's going to be any space? And as I drove up the track, it's a very small track, so you have to reverse back. You can't turn around. There's not enough space. Anyway, a friend of mine had arrived. She'd taken the last space, and I said, "Oh dear, I'm going to have to reverse all the way back." And then this lady came running up to me, and she said, "Oh, would you like to come right up to the farm? We've got a barrier across it to stop people coming, but you can come if you like, and come and park right on the farm," which was a bit further up, and literally, a very short walk then with all my gear. And then two people arrived to help me. So I feel very blessed that in every situation I'm always helped. And so thank you to the lady who lives at the farm. I bought an ice cream instead, but it was a really lovely day. So I hope since the solstice, did you put anything in place for yourself? Because it's a really heightened masculine energy, so it's a real doing energy, and it's very good to imprint what it is that you're longing for the next 6 months. Anything you want to claim, anything that you feel has eluded you or that has sunk into the shadows, what would you like to bring forth? And it may be something that is part of your shadow that you would like to clear and bring to the surface. As you know, this is a time when the light is really bringing things to the surface. It's illuminating the darkness, and you may be bombarded with all of the horrendous things that are going on, and not so much told about all the wonderful things that are going on, because there are lots of wonderful gatherings, lots of wonderful things going on, lots of people setting out new intentions, new energies. And of course, I was going to say, obviously, we've just had a resignation from Keir Starmer, and it looks like it's going to be replaced by our man from the north, Andy Burnham. But is that going to be any real change, do we feel? Or is it just same arse, different cheek? Pardon the expression. But I've been told, or I understand, that Andy Burnham is a WEF puppet, so I don't think there's going to be much change. I think the agenda is going to be rolling out and continuing, but it's the opportunity for people to feel there may be more change, or to feel a bit more optimistic. So I was just feeling, though, this system that we are currently have been living in for hundreds of years, and obviously it's got more intense as we've gone on. The system of our policing, of our education system, of our medical system, of our political system. Do you feel people, or do you feel maybe yourself, would you be ready to give it up for something a lot, maybe small localized little groups that fend for themselves and grow all their own food or exchange with other groups. Do you think most people are too attached to the system, like a baby on a nipple? Can we pull them off it? Can we really set our own sights and deliver our own localized systems that suit our own individual groups or tribes or um, neighborhoods? So how do you feel about that? That's one question I'd really like to ask. Do you feel you could be without the system? Because if we don't like what's going on, we have to shift it and change. But what are we going to put there instead? How's it going to work? So if anybody's got any bright ideas of how if they were running the country, if they were taking over from Keir Starmer, and I have to laugh because I sent Rachel this song, which is quite rude, called Keir Starmer is a beginning with a W and ending in R, 6 words, 6 letters. And it was such a powerful, almost very powerful song. But within days of sending it out to people, he came and offered his resignation. So song is very powerful. Never underestimate the power of singing and songs to really get to someone's psyche. I suspect he was probably told he had to to sort of like step down from his position. I mean, how do people feel about that? Are they sad? Are they traumatized by our leader resigning and things changing again, or are we quite happy that that he's gone and that he's going to be replaced? So have a little feel into that, and what are we ready, to take on board ourselves, the responsibility? Are we prepared to step into adulthood on a sort of like evolutionary level? So here's what I would put into place, and it would be asking people what their recipe is for happiness. So I wrote this little poem, which is called Recipe for Happiness Pie, and I wrote it in 2011. And maybe just while I'm reading it out, we can just bring ourselves into this state of being in the present, being fully in our bodies, being aware of what we're feeling right now and what wants to come up. What do you want to share? What would you like to express? I know Eileen's got a hand up, so that's great news. And I would love to hear, even if it's just introducing yourself and where you're from and maybe why you come on to the People Speaks Out, even if you haven't got anything you want to share on a point of view level, you might want to share why you come on here. What brings you here? So we'd love to hear from people we haven't heard from before, but of course we'd love to hear from our regulars as well. So here's my recipe for happiness pie. Just maybe close your eyes and just bring yourself into the presence of your own body, your own inner world, and just notice how you're feeling right now. What's going on for you? Is anything moving? Is anything coming up? Is anything like wanting to come out, or do you feel quite shy? Just notice how you're feeling, and the only important thing is feeling the realness, feeling what's authentic. Authenticity is the highest vibration. So what's real for you right now? Recipe for happiness pie. Now is the time to realign, to reconnect to thy perfect thine. Approach from the start with an open heart, the vibration of love, it's the state of the art. Tune into your feelings, your heart's desire. Free from doubt, you can climb much higher. Pay no attention to ridicule or perdition. Just go with your flow, your inner physician, guiding you with its still, calm voice. A symbiotic marriage with universal choice. Go in the direction of your pleasures. Never look back to mark and measure. An eye in the past is living a farce, for to do so will put your life in vain. For the past is gone, and so is that pain. Awaken to this moment. This is where you hold your power, the here and right now, in this very hour. Be present and receive the gift. Now, spelt backwards, is won. You have won the game of life. My recipe for happiness pie. So just bring yourself in your own time back into the awareness of everybody else on the call and tune in to what it is you'd like to share with us all today. And meanwhile, I'm going to go over to Eileen, who had her hand up very quickly. So Eileen, if you'd like to unmute yourself, we'd love to hear what you have to share with us today. How
yes. I'm very well, thank you.
Good.
You've pressed my buttons.
Oh, good. I like to do a bit of Pressing the button.
Pressing buttons, yeah. But just on the laughing thing, 4 years ago, I was two soups, right?
You were what?
Everybody knows what two soups is, don't they? Um, anyway, now if I get up, as soon as I get up, I have to grab hold of my Zimmer.
Okay.
Otherwise, I should be on the floor. So I'm housebound. I can go out in a wheelchair and ramps and everything, but I can't be doing with it. I've got my younger son does my shopping once a week, and I've got carers that come in. Um, so this situation for me is tolerable, in fact, pleasurable, because I have the internet. You see, and I can be at Speaker's Corner on a Sunday afternoon and watch you tune into, there's so much there. I said if I didn't have the internet and YouTube and everything, I'd have gone crackers.
Okay.
The last 6 years, especially since I've been at home, which is the last 18 months I've been housebound. And I mean, it's partly through choice, but I used to visit old people when I was a teenager in the 60s. And one old lady, she lived at the top of this house and she had gas lighting. And it was like going back into decade. Even when she spoke, it was almost Dickensian. I mean, she was about 80 then, I think, but she used to take me round to show me her father's pictures and everything in candlelight and everything like that. And she had a gas, though. And one night when the gas went out, she thought, oh, she had a meter. So I put the money in the morning. So when in the morning came, she put the money in. She'd forgotten that she'd left the gases on. So the neighbours down were desperate to get her out. Eventually, she went into an old people's home. But what I'm coming back to, that in those days, people didn't have a television. She didn't have a phone.
No.
So, the only outside was the radio, you see. And I mean, I'm not sure. She must have had some electric, but I know that a lot of it was gas lights. I'm not even sure if she had a radio. But in those days, again, if you're going back in time, people would have had a radio, but they wouldn't have had the telephone, wouldn't have, and it was far more isolating if you were on your own. So, when you're saying about living off the grid or whatever it is, I wouldn't want to now. I mean, I go online, I order things online, and my son couldn't get any milk the other day. Something's wrong with the electrics on that counter in Sainsbury's. Oh, what's happened? And but I said, that's okay, I'll get some from the co-op. And I went on yesterday morning, put in a little order from the co-op, other things as well, run at Norbury. And within an hour, this is delivered to me. And that was all online. So I said, I'm quite happy with being part of the system, I'm afraid. I don't think at this age I want to opt out.
Right, but you could actually go and sit on a ley line and think very, very hard and connect with people that way, couldn't you?
I used to do all that stuff. I have done all that. I've done all that. As I said, flirted with Buddhism, had a love affair with the Druids, but my heart was in the philosophy school, and it's still with the
Oh,
philosophy
I get
school.
what you're saying. Is that it's
I've done all that, and again, I could walk. You see, I'd be on all the marches by now.
you in a beautiful group full of a loving tribe, they will come and help you and lift you and take you to wherever the.
I don't want anybody to come.
No,
I want my family.
don't
I mean,
you?
I've got a commode in the corner. I'm not allowed upstairs now.
Okay, but so if there was anything you could change in the system, what area would you like to see a shift in?
I'd like to be able to walk again.
I know, but that's your system. I'm talking about the wider system that we're
In the
involved
wider world.
in. Yes.
Oh, peace. Stop the bombing. Stop the bombing. I mean, look at what's happened in Venezuela.
I know.
An earthquake in Venezuela has caused so much horrendous. And yet at the same time, they're bombing, which is causing buildings to collapse as well. I mean, it's just, I'd say peace. I'd say stop, 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 stop. Let's all just get together and work together and oh, dear. And I mean, all these billionaires, trillionaires, what are they doing with their money? They've got enough money to make places like Africa so, you know, coming and economical, whatever, the people wouldn't want to come across to here. I mean, most of these people coming from countries that we've been invaded, we've interrupted, we've interfered with their lifestyle. That's why they're all coming here. We should have left them all alone. I'm getting political now.
That's okay. This is what it's all for: is to just
Peace, peace on earth. Let's all just work together.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm totally agree. But obviously, we've been singing that mantra for a very long time. It doesn't because it doesn't suit the agenda. That's what I'm saying. The system runs.
It's the agenda.
It's the ones on war, death, destruction, and ill health and ignorance. So it's a system that supports all of that. That's what I'm saying. Do we feel, but most people aren't ready to let go of it? I don't feel. I think there's a few pockets of people that are, but most people need the system. They need to be. I mean, I'm looking at myself by saying this. It's like, how would I cope if I couldn't go and get my oat milk, or easily? I do have deliveries to my house, but we are so reliant on this system. Can we get ourselves out of it without too much disruption to our equilibrium? You're saying not. But I'm feeling there is another way. It would be great if we could come up with solutions, or a vision. Someone could, do an artist painting of how we would like it to be. Then we've got something to move towards, rather than constantly focusing on what we don't like in the system. So that's what my question is, to see if anyone can come up with anything, or just to have a comment on what is, what you find very helpful and supportive in the system, like you were just saying. I mean, it's not throwing everything out, is it? It's not just throwing everything out. It's just selecting those things that still work and help people, and those that are detrimental to humanity as a whole, which is a lot of the system at the moment.
I mean, there's a lot of really good stuff. It's the yin and yang, isn't it? There's a lot of really good stuff. It's like all these inventions, all the new technology, the AI and everything. There is a positive, and you think, oh, that's wonderful. How lucky we are to have this. And then there's the negative.
Yeah.
Isn't there?
It's
not everything.
Black and white. It's the
it's like me being at home. I'm quite happy because I can tap on the internet and I can, if I run out of milk, okay, come.
Well, that's
don't have trouble myself.
So we'd want to keep that bit, so that would help a lot of people in their houses that are, unable to get to the shops. Or
I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky. I do sort of, count my blessings and thank my guardian angel, because of the situation I'm in. I'm very lucky,
Well, it's always good to focus on the gratitude, isn't it? So, Eileen, have you got because there's a few hands up? You're very welcome to come back on in. Is there anything else you'd like to share before I move it on to the next hand?
No, everything's fine, thank you. I'm enjoying this. I'm connecting with you all.
To see you smiling,
my friends.
That's always uplifting, seeing people that smile. So I'm not sure who actually came on next. Was it Annie, or was it Wendy, or was it Val? No, not Val. We'll leave Val. So I'll just go in order, because please keep your hands up. I will get to you. Roger, would like to bring you in. Could you unmute, please?
Yes, thanks for hosting.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, I just want to say that Rachel, the presence of Rachel at my inaugural law-loving meeting was extremely helpful. We got in total 8 people there, but they were all, well, valuable in their thoughts about. We were like-minded, and you know what my mind is, so enough to say on that. But anyway, so Rachel came, and we had a very, very pleasant gathering. Rachel was pleased with it, and so was I. So but the problem was there was so much noise, music and traffic passing. So the venue was not a good choice. So I've now negotiated for a more suitable room at the bowling club, which is where we held our event, if you remember, on the 9th of May. So I shall be there. If anybody is in this area, I invite them to come along.
Could you tell us which area that is, Rog?
Well, I live in York.
Okay, just so there's a lot of people.
And the venue is the indoor bowling club, which is very close to the race course. The postcode is YO24 2NW. So if anybody would like to come along, they're very, very welcome.
So Roger, what's the actual title of the theme, or the title of your?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
What is the title of your evening, of your event, of your talk? What is the theme?
Well, it's just Law Loving Gathering.
A law-loving gathering in New
Yes.
York. And when is that?
And that's, well, it's going to be every fortnight, but
Oh, right. Okay.
on this occasion, the first one that I'm doing at the bowling club is on Saturday, which I think is it the 4th of July?
Yes, the 4th of July is next Saturday.
Yeah, so that's the first one at this new venue, which is more suitable than the last one because it's going to be much quieter, and we can, it's just a get together of
Yeah, like
ordinary people.
I get it. Roger, you're
Yeah,
fading like a ghost. What's going on? There you are.
I'm
You're
sorry,
going
but
very ethereal. I was thinking you were disappearing into the ether, but you're still there.
oh,
How
sorry, yeah.
how are you feeling, Roger? Because I know obviously you've had your challenges with your health in the past. How are things with you now?
I'm sorry, but I can't hear you clearly. Can you say that again?
Yes, I'm just concerned. I know you had some health issues, so I'm concerned and wondering how you're feeling right now. How are things with you?
Well, the only real health issue I've got is my difficulty in walking.
Okay.
But and Elaine might just think about this. I've got a very small scooter,
Eileen.
which I can use to get on the bus. I had to take a kind of a test to, to ascertain my ability to be able to maneuver the scooter onto the bus and into the right location. But that could be useful for Elaine. The one I've got is called
What's it called?
Air
Ooh.
Monarch.
Do you want to reply to that,
It's
Eileen?
very small. It
Folds up into a small little package.
well, no, but you don't have a bus, and it's a great benefit to me because I can go anywhere now.
Has it got wings?
Pardon?
Has it got wings? I'm being
Well,
conscious.
not exactly. No, it's just got wheels.
I'm thinking about the flying chair that I used to, the wishing chair. Does anyone remember that? Eden Blyton's The Wishing Chair, where kids used to sit on this chair and grow wings and they would just suddenly fly off to different lands. So I'm just wondering whether that was a possibility. Not in the system we've got currently, but
Well,
maybe we can
no,
put
that
it into our new vision. Flying chairs.
well that would be very nice, but I think that's a bit too
Why?
sort of
Why
high
limit
tech.
ourselves? Anyway, Rod,
Well, yeah, everything is possible, I guess. I
anything
work.
at all is possible. If we can think it, then it must be possible, mustn't it? Otherwise, it wouldn't be in our imagination. It's like the forthcoming view, preview of life's forthcoming events is your imagination. Um, so, Roger, I really appreciate you if you could put what you just said into the chat box, because most people on here are sort of no longer teenagers and we haven't got that memory where we can just download the address. And again, we're hoping that will expand. We'll be able to do that. But if you could just put it in the chat box, the address, and it's fortnightly, and the next one's on the 4th of July, so fortnightly after that, that would be really helpful. And it's lovely to see you.
Okay, well, I'll try and do that.
Thanks for coming on.
The other thing I want to
Okay.
mention is,
Yeah.
and I wonder if people know that on their electricity bill and the gas bill, I believe, there is a tax which I didn't know until somebody mentioned it on some YouTube video I was watching. They put a tax of about 14%, a green tax. So there's a green tax, and then there's VAT at 5%. So on your energy bills, you've got 19% added on. Did you know this?
Well, I know that I sent a deed of trust to all of these people that charge tax because we know where it goes to, and it's not where.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, love. Can you
Sorry,
speak
Roger.
louder?
Yes, I am aware of this because I have sent out deeds of trust to utility companies because of the tax that they they charge goes to, it's not a green tax, it goes towards supporting the walls and supporting things that I don't agree with.
It goes towards what? I didn't catch that.
It goes towards funding wars.
War. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure it's same with the VAT.
Subjector to that. So
yeah, all tax goes into the consolidated tax fund.
It does.
And then some of that, in fact, I guess probably most of that, goes to fund war. Yeah. Well, Chris Coverdale will tell you, you know, a lot more about that than I can. But now I'm refusing to pay the total bill unless they deduct those taxes. I will not pay VAT for Israel to perform genocide against the Palestinians. It's in my power to do that.
It's yes, it is, and it's within.
I can either decide to pay tax, or I can decide to not pay tax, and I'm deciding not to pay tax. So I'll let you know I go along with that.
Yes, I would. I'm totally with you on that one, Roger. And the other thing is, there's a gentleman that goes round filling up his car at the garage, and because 70% of what you pay at the garage is petrol, 70% of it is taxed. So only 30% is the cost of the oil, and 70% is tax. Yeah. And so he only goes in and says, I'm only paying 30% of what the bill is, and then just walks out, pays 30%, and then walks off. And the man, oh, come back. He said, no, I'm not paying it. So he, one man band. But imagine if everyone did that, they'd have to reduce tax because it's now.
Yeah, well, he's quite a courageous man, actually.
Yes.
To do that.
I'm not sure
how. I mean, I'm a lot less courageous than that because all I'm doing.
Well, everyone does what they can manage, and you're doing your thing, and you're very inspiring, Roger. That you are going around doing your bit for enlightening people about the truth of what's going on behind what we see as on the front. So thank you for doing that.
Sas, I can't hear what you're saying. I can see your mouth moving.
Anybody else hear me?
But I can't hear what you're saying.
Just about.
So maybe I need to turn my volume up. It's on full.
Oh, I got your name wrong. I said Elaine, didn't I? I meant, Eileen. Of course, Eileen. When I was talking about the scooter. You might think about that. I know that.
Can I come back?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Everybody suggests that. No, I've been out to a few times. I've been to a dental appointment, an eye test. And each time I went with my son in the car, so I could have gone on the scooter. But as soon as I get to these destinations, I've got to have my Zimmer frame there. You see? So as soon as I get up, so if I went to meet, I used to meet friends of coffee in Croydon, lovely toilets there, got a disabled toilet and everything. So off I go with my little toilet. And what happens when I want to go to the toilet? You see, I can't get out of it and then go on the toilet, I'll be on the floor. So wherever I go, even to the dentist.
in many places now, they've got what I would call wheelchair access rooms.
It's wheelchair access, toilet. But it's getting up out of it, and then I have to grab my frame.
Right.
I can't think right. As I said, 4 years ago, Julie Walters, I was 2 soups. 4 years ago, 2 soups. Have you ever seen Julie Walters? 2 soups? No.
No.
Have you seen 2 soups?
No.
Go on YouTube. Go on YouTube. Put in 2 soups.
Is it funny?
Oh yeah, it's Julie Walters. It's one of what's her name? Oh gosh, what's that lovely lady from the north? She died a couple of years ago. Wrote all these comedies. Oh my gosh, what's her name?
Victoria Wood.
Victoria Wood. It's one of hers.
Oh,
it's so funny.
It's very good.
Funny. And it started because she's very I think she was in a restaurant or somebody. She got the idea from watching this elderly lady as a waitress in this cafe or something, and that gave her the idea for
Acorn Antiques.
Well, it's part of that, but this is separate.
Oh, okay.
It's a separate sketch. Julie Walters, 2 soups. All watch it.
Okay, well, thank you, Eileen.
But a month ago it was angels. Now it's two suits. But anyway, I did want to come back because I do have. Yeah, the thing is, you see, as soon as I get up here, I've got this here. And when I went to the dentist, as soon as my son had to come with me, you see, I could go. One son took me to the eye centre, pushing me, so I could have gone the electric one to the eye centre. It's not too far down the road. My other son had to come in his car, or he could have walked with a Zimmer. So wherever I go, as soon as I get up, I've got to have a Zimmer there. Otherwise, I don't get up. So I'll be driving around and then coming back, and then when I get to my door, how do I get in? No
Ask
Zimmer.
for the postcard, please, or you can put them down below in the chat box.
Anyway,
How
I
to
just
get out.
Well,
no. Everybody
you,
suggests. I mean, the idea
you
of
can.
driving around is fine. I didn't want to because I've never even driven a car, let alone ride a bike. So I didn't really want one anyway. To have to cross roads is like having a car, isn't it? So I really didn't want one anyway. But where am I going, and what happens when I get there? And if I'm meeting friends for coffee and everything, what happens if I want to go toilet?
Shiwi.
But also, I just want to apologise because I didn't include my carers. You see, without my carers, I'd be in a care home probably, or my son would have to live here. So I'd have to have a son move back here.
Which
So I
you might
have
be
to say
taking
my
over.
carers are wonderful, and they only get paid for actually when they do the job. In between, and sometimes they could be hanging around waiting for bus. 20-minute walk here, 20 minutes. All weathers, hot weather and winter. They get paid for the actual job, so they could be out 12 hours, but only get paid for about 9. And so I have to give praise to the carers, all carers everywhere, and all part of the NHS and everything. And apologies from David is now true from freedom because a lot of people were misinterpreting the love bit. So he can't come today. He's having to work sort of with his job today, so he can't have a lunch break at the right time. So I did put a message in the chat. I'm not sure whether
Okay,
it went
thanks.
through.
Thanks, Ollie. All right, I'm going to move on now because we've
Yes,
got lots
yes, I've
of listen,
finished.
thank you so much for your input. Thanks, Roger.
Two soups,
If you'd like two soups on
soups,
YouTube.
soups. Didn't there? Soup,
Yeah, soup.
soups.
Super duper. Yes. Right, I'm gonna have to mute you. You're gonna have to mute yourself, Eileen. Then you can always come back at this time. But we've got. I'm gonna come to Wendy Jackson. I've not heard from Wendy before, so I'm not sure whether you've spoken before, Wendy. But it'd be lovely to hear from you, Wendy Jackson. So please share whatever it is that you want to share with on the People Speaks Out. Lovely to see you and hear from you.
Hi, Sas. Yeah,
Hi.
thank you. I have been on a couple of times. Probably, I know I've spoken to Rachel once.
Yeah, not me. I don't
But
think.
yeah, I am often here, but sometimes I can't get. So I wanted to say hello,
Hi.
and I've been here since Rachel started it really. And just say it's a real comfort because even if I can't see it, I will watch the recording. And yeah, I love it. I love listening to everybody and having those like minds, and having very open conversations is just brilliant. The things that I wanted to say was that I've been wanting to live on land for quite a long time. So I lost my house and everything about 7 years ago due to, I won't go into it, but basically I became homeless. Um, and my sort of wish was to have some land and grow vegetables, and I feel like I'm getting a step closer. I've just left my flat because he put the rent up by £100, when the new
Wow.
Renters Act came out,
Yeah.
just so he could do it just before he put it up £100, which was, for a one up one down, which was then £615, which was quite a lot.
Wow.
So I'm actually staying at a friend's. I've just moving all my stuff out this week. I'll be out by Wednesday. Um, and I'm going to be staying here. Now they live on a beautiful eco project with growing vegetables. So I was up at 6 this morning feeding the chickens and watering the plants because Monday's their day, so I'm doing their day. Um, and then from that, I've got a couple of friends that are looking for land, and that want me to go and live with them on there because I'm a homeopath of 20 years. So I've sort of bringing all that wisdom and knowledge. So what I've been praying for quite a few years, I think is about to come true. So I'm just, yeah, I've been doing a Gaia mantra every
Oh,
day,
wonderful,
and I'm
wonderful
just
news.
feeling, yeah, I'm just feeling um, really blessed. Yeah.
Wendy, can I just ask you, did you do something called Pathways?
Pathways.
No? Maybe another Wendy Jackson
I
then.
know, I know a lady called Louise Make a Pathway. Do you know Louise?
I don't know. I just remember someone called Wendy Jackson who ran something called Pathways, which was
Oh right.
helping
Oh
to
no,
promote
it's not me.
local businesses. Anyway, okay, was it
Oh
wasn't.
wow.
Um,
No, not me.
but anyway, that's a good. So you're looking to sort of move more and more off the system and more onto your
Yeah.
own local support system.
Yeah,
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 that's
absolutely.
wonderful
I
news.
mean, I've known about the water and the food. When I
Yeah,
trained as a homeopath 20 years ago, they taught us about the food, the water, the system. Um, so, in vaccines, I knew about stuff way back 26 years
yeah,
ago.
me too.
So, hence, I'd never got my dog vaccinated. My
No.
daughter wasn't vaccinated. So, I was quite ahead of the game, really. But it was quite a lonely path, as
I
probably
know, I
for you.
remember.
Yeah, yeah, you were
I was
there as well. Yeah,
singing the
so
vaccine stories for a long, long time to many people.
yeah,
It was very difficult 30 odd years ago. People didn't, when I was saying, do you want to reflexology? People go, what on earth that? And you say,
yeah,
it's an ancient system from Egypt. It's not anything newfangled.
yeah,
But there has to be forerunners in anything, doesn't there? There has to be people.
yeah,
I feel as if
absolutely.
I've been part of the snow plow trying to push the snow out of the way and then to help the younger people come through that seem much more savvy and
Yeah,
much more sort of being able to balance out the two, working in the system but also one foot into moving into something they do want. After they see a lot of people doing it, so young people. So I'm hoping for the next generation that will
yeah,
help houses on their land and look after the elderly.
yeah. That's what we want. Yeah,
When I
but
say elderly, I
I've
mean the
also
elders.
been,
Yes, go on.
sorry,
I mean the elders, not the elderly. The elders,
the
wise,
elders. Yeah.
wise women.
And just to say that also, I have been teaching a lot in the last 4 years. I've done about 350 workshops teaching all the modalities that I use in my practice. So that's homeopathy, flower essences, Schultz's tissue salts.
Oh, wonderful.
I don't know if you've heard of those. So yeah, I
Yes,
teach
yes,
all of
absolutely.
those.
But I don't hear anybody do. I haven't heard of anybody doing a course on tissue salts. So that'd be very
Yeah.
helpful. Where are you based, Wendy?
I'm in well, near Newark in Nottinghamshire. In the
I love the way you
Shire.
said Nottinghamshire.
Shire. I'd be in the
Robin
Shire.
Hood country, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
We're
But
robbing
yeah,
some of those rich to pay for the poor, couldn't we? Um,
absolutely.
well, that's wonderful news to hear that. That keep us informed of how that
Yeah.
goes,
I will.
because you
Thank
may
you.
be pioneering that, and you can help other people coming who are looking to make that transition themselves.
Yeah.
So thank
Lovely.
you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
coming on and
Love,
sharing today. It's lovely to hear from you, Wendy.
you're
And
welcome.
keep coming back and keep
I
sharing
will.
what's going on for you. Thank you.
Bless you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Right, I'm going to move on now. If you'd like to mute yourself, thanks, Wendy. Less distractions in the background then with all the noise. I'm going to come over to Annie because she's at the end of my row, and then it will be going to Corrine, and then my favourite Samsung, and then we'll come to Rachel after that. So please bear with us. We all want to hear what you have to say. Okay, so unmute.
I haven't been on for a while. Just very, very, very busy. Life just seems to be a full-time job. Just doing stuff. And we're all still doing our pushbacks against the system and having some wins with that. And I've been using AI, as you know,
Yeah.
and we've had some serious wins in court. Not for me, but for other people, where I've been a Mackenzie friend and done quite a lot of work. And that's to do with council tax. We've stopped people having the council seizing people's properties with charging orders and changed the world a little bit. Um, but I I got invited to join an allotment last year, and we're a group of awake people. And the guys that are there are very practical and can build anything. And we've got all our water. We've planted all our stuff. And I was down there this morning at 6:45 because I had to drop my son off at the railway station because he now commutes into London. And it was absolute bliss being amongst the growing, and it's just a beautiful place. And I swim in the river in the mornings. and sometimes see kingfishers. So it's these contrasts, this duality of the craziness of the world and then this unexpected beauty of nature. And it's just my life's just weird. It's just big contrasts of fantastic, wonderful friendships and connections, and domestic abuse on the other hand. Beautiful place to be. Then I've been London and it's all crazy, and I don't know, it's just lots of duality. But uh I'm feeling good and I'm very grateful for everything that's happening. The world seems to have just got crazier and crazier every week. And I think all this, you mentioned Andy Burnham and what do people think? Well, they're trying very much to distract us from the fact that all the terrible things that happened in Manchester when he was mayor and the covering up of the grooming gangs, that will all come out. So I don't know if this is deliberate to bring the whole thing down, or I don't know. I have no idea. And all of this stuff that's going on with what's happening in the world, I have absolutely no idea what it's all about. And I flip-flop from, believing we're on the winning side and it's all collapsing and, good will come through, to being completely black-pilled. And um, so, yeah, I'm just taking it one day at a time and enjoying the nature and watching the agenda. And we had an impromptu power cut yesterday.
Oh,
Um, and we've got a data center coming um, the other side of Ashford, and it will take all the river water, the river where I swim and see the kingfishers. And we've had water shortages here. Not They haven't affected me, but people up at Whitstable, they had one that lasted about 4 days, and people had to go by car to Tesco's and get free bottled water, and the queues down the road were like 4 hours long. It's to get us used to water shortages, energy shortages. They're trying to make it normal. So I think we can expect more power cuts. And this hot weather that we've had, I'm appalled at the reactions that people have had to it. I know it's hot, but we go on holiday to hot countries, and that's why we go there. But everything seems to stop. My son commuted back from London on the train from Charing Cross to Ashford, and he left at 6:30 in the evening on Wednesday, which was a very hot day. He was the only person in his carriage all the way back because people just didn't show up for work.
oh,
They were all in the pubs and going out in the evening and packed on the trains. And schools were closed, sports days were cancelled, and parents were saying, "I'm not taking my kid can't go to school because it's too hot." And I don't know, businesses were closed. This country just doesn't seem to have any backbone, in my opinion. I remember the summer of '76, and the year above me were doing their their O levels, and they were in some kind of science hut in sort of 40-degree heat. And they just did it.
like their brains.
Yeah. So um I'm just watching. I'm not aligning with anything. I just watch, and I think those of us who've been doing this for a while, we've got very, very good at instinctively knowing when something's not right. Um, we don't even have to give it very much focus. We just know.
I mean,
And for that, I'm grateful because I wouldn't have it any other way. And I am struggling, where I do struggle, and this might sound very snobby, but I can't hang out with normies for very long. And I'm in a samba band, and I love them all. But listening to their conversations about getting jabbed and climate change and um, I don't know, fluoride in toothpaste and all these things, these they're like red flags to me. They come up in conversation, and I'm there going, oh my God.
You hold your tongue.
So I have a low tolerance. I, I, I just step in and step out as quickly as I can. So yeah, that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I mean,
But I'm
I totally
happy
agree about the drama.
by and large.
Good. Well, that's good. Because that obviously, as I said, the vibrations that we're holding is what is lifting us or taking us down the fear route, the authentic route, or the false route. That's how I see it. And so it's aligning yourself with what is true for you. I think, and there's going to be a bifurcation because are moving out of a lot of people are moving out of being so reliant on the system.
Yeah.
Because, like you say, everything is dramatized. I mean, the thing why people go away on holiday, I think there's a big difference to being in your sort of, maybe Rachel or people who live on the coast. But if you have a swimming pool to jump into or the sea to cool off in, and that you're not doing any of your usual work, you're just like, you're enjoying either traveling around,
Mm.
you look at things, or you're utilizing the services of swimming pools and the sea. I think it's much more bearable. And also, people say that the heat that we have here, the humidity is different. It's less bearable than a lot of other countries' heats, and I don't know why, but people seem to think that England is more difficult in the heat. Maybe because it's a small island. Um, we're not set up for it. We don't have air conditioning.
But things like air-conditioned supermarkets, their freezers all went off.
Yeah, I know. They did the Tesco's down the road to me. They're all no food.
Yes. How does that happen?
I
They're already air conditioned in there, so it doesn't really affect them. And they're all owned by BlackRock. There's agendas at play, and they're trying to say, that the next thing will be climate lockdowns, and we're not allowed to travel because of the climate change, just for a few hot days.
Who's
Um,
changing it? That's what I'd like to know.
mm,
It's
mm.
changing, but yeah, who's changing it? It's just this sort of levels of heat people can't cope with when they seem to be working. It's like when it's really, really cold or there's too many leaves on the
When
track.
they're working, but they can go out and they can go to events and festivals and all sorts of other things, and that's okay.
Well, yes, people just don't like going to work all of the time. It's
Yeah,
comfortable, and it's an extra layer of stress, isn't it, on top of having to go to work, which maybe they don't like the travel, and then the heat on top of that is become too much. But how we'd manage in a combative
but
war?
we've managed in decades gone
Yeah,
by.
I know,
We've managed.
but it's a good drama, isn't it, to put fear into everybody.
Yeah,
Warnings, all the red everywhere. It's
yeah,
whereas places like Venezuela, where they have serious you know dramatic experiences.
yeah.
I mean, my sister just flew back from Japan a couple of days before there was earthquakes there as well. So we are told that everything seems to be, accelerating in terms of volcanic eruptions, earthquakes. But it's just the Earth moving around. She's trying to free herself of the heaviness and the weight of the oppressive energy, I suppose, that's on the planet, and how to lift off and to ascend. Are we ascending with her? Hopefully, we will be into a new dimension, but I think we're creating it. That's why I'm saying the vision that we hold for a new way is really important, because obviously they get us to focus on all the things that are going wrong in the current system.
Mm.
That's what we tend to focus our attention on. So we're giving more attention to that which wants to crumble and fall away, and focus on bringing in our vision. So whatever you're doing, Annie, you're doing what's good for you, and hopefully that
Yeah.
spread out and people will feel the ripple effect. So thank you so much for joining us and sharing with you what's going on for you. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure other people will, because it's great to hear all these different opinions and experiences that people are having. Please come back in if you need. But is that complete for you, Annie? Are you complete with your sharing? Thank you. Lovely to see you. Okay, so if you'd like to mute yourself, I'm coming over to Corrine from Frome. So if you'd like to mute yourself, Corrine, we'd love to hear what you have to say today.
Hello. Hi.
Oh, hi. Welcome.
Great. So, well, because of time, I'm just going to do quick sound bites in comments on questions you raised and wanted answers for. So the funny thing is, on this soup business, which I'd never heard of before, I used to be an Elizabethan waitress, and we used to stumble out with 2 little cauldrons of soup, which we used to dump on people's tables. So that's my funny soup tale, singing old English songs.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, that's beside the point. Recipe for happiness? Well, Yogi Bhajan says, if you want to be happy, stop complaining. Good quote. uh, yeah, kind of interesting on the whole Starmer thing, because I happen to have the radio on. I happen to be listening to Question Time, which is always shocking and quite interesting. I very rarely listen. And the big question was on Starmer and should he step down and should Andy Burnham just come straight in? And and also there was the phone in. So I heard the phone in. Nearly everybody said that it was undemocratic, that he would just step in,
Yeah.
and that, people would not have voted for him. Whereas, so I just thought I was really surprised, because I thought everybody had said, oh, yes, let's just go with Andy Burnham. Of course, Starmer should drop down. But I was actually very surprised at all those comments. I sort of feel, well, they're all puppets. I believe, and I don't know whether it's true, that Andy Burnham was very much with Tony Blair pushing the digital identity cards. So who knows? I don't know where truth lies around all this stuff. So my mind is going increasingly to more energetic frequency healing. And so the day before the solstice, we did the gathering as we would normally do at Oliver's Castle. Obviously, Rory Duff is no longer on the planet. But we had a lovely meditation. The first one, it was fine. The second one, oh my God, the heavens there was a complete thunder burst right over us. So I then sang my sacred water song, which seemed appropriate, and we all laughed. But it's like I feel increasingly, also this, I know Eileen was saying, or you were saying, Sasso, go to ley lines, but actually Dr. Samuel B. Lee, whose course I'm on at the moment, is very much about we can work on the grids and the ley lines of the body with intention and a meditation, and that actually we don't have to physically go. Because we did a really powerful grid work session a few weeks ago for the crystalline structures and the earth at Temple Mount, Jerusalem. And so he does all these grid work meditations that are going on. And there was over 1,500 of us doing that particular one. So I just feel it's really important on this energetic level. And we work a lot with, it's a light language, but it's Anuhazi, Mua. And what was I going to say? Oh, it's something to do. Oh, yes, they call them songs. It's PSONN. So it's like songs, but it's slightly different how we would spell it. But it's very powerful and very healing. And I cry nearly all the time because that's just what I do. And the other thing, what am I doing from solstice? Oh my God, I'm actually completing all sorts of little jobs that don't take very long to do, like, removing red wine stains from a beautiful cloth, or painting a little scratches on the wall, or now is the time to complete, freshen, declutter, hold the best possible resonance, and not believe everything we hear on the BBC, which I don't really listen to. So anyway, listen, I'm aware that time is short now, so Rachel's got her hand up. So I'd just like to say thanks, S.A.S, for hosting, and hi, Rachel. Thanks for setting all this up too.
Thank you for your positive feedback as to what people can focus on. I totally agree. It's where you're putting your energy and how you're lifting your own energy. And if you can do it with groups of people, obviously the power is power of X, isn't it? So that's wonderful news, and keep up the good work. Thank you, Corrine. Thanks for coming on to the call. So, and we'll come over finally to our other hostess with the mostess, Rachel. She's been up to all sorts. So, Rachel, have you well, you have unmuted yourself.
Hi.
Yeah,
Thanks, S.A.S. Thanks for hosting. And
welcome.
yeah, it's good discipline for me to squish into a few minutes. So there's two key things. The first thing I wanted to talk about was Starmer and Andy Burnham, and how the political system has been corrupted in terms of what it's supposed to be democratically. The Prime Minister is supposed to be primus inter pares, which means the first among equals. It's not, we don't have a presidential system in this country. And so this idea that, oh, Andy Burnham's going to come in and he's going to do this and he's going to do that and he's going to do that. And actually it's completely unconstitutional, because basically Labour has failed in that it did not follow its manifesto. So basically it's a bit like if you went into a car showroom and you bought a car based on a a list of things that car was going to deliver, and then you bought the car and the car did completely different things. Well, you'd want a refund, and that's exactly what's happened. Starmer got in only because Reform split the vote. He got in on less than 20% of the people with Labour, and immediately proceeded to implement stuff which was not in their manifesto, things like digital ID and the euthanasia thing.
Yeah.
And the everything that's happened, none of it had the mandate of the people. So I believe that Labour has completely failed, and that there should be a general election. Personally, that I believe that we the people should say enough of this shit show, and not allow some other person just to be parachuted in. There should be a general election now, because they have completely failed the people. They never had the mandate of the people in the first place, and they should be held to account, in my humble opinion. The other thing I wanted to talk about is homelessness. Obviously, my situation's been quite precarious, and I've done a lot of energy work in terms of like visioning in like a whole plethora of possibilities, and have got to a place of a certain amount of stability, certainly for my sons. And I'm just picking up on what Wendy said. Now, I've spent the past few days in Exeter. I'm not there anymore, but it's really interesting in Exeter just how many homeless people there are in the city centre. It's absolutely shocking. And yet all around are empty shops, empty commercial buildings, retail. There is so much space. And then outside of Exeter, they're building these huge housing estates on greenbelt land, as they are in so many towns around. The whole thing is utterly ridiculous. And actually what is needed, and if I ruled the world, but what's really needed is a complete radical change to the planning policies to lift all these ridiculous restrictions. Like, for example, you can't live on land. Bollocks. Why? If you own land, you should be, providing you're causing no harm, injury or loss and living in harmony with the land, you should absolutely be able to do what you want to do. And that is the lawful situation, as I understand it. So all these planning rules, they only benefit these big corporations. So I have a radical rethink of planning and all this kind of change of use nonsense, and put in place some really good incentives for all of these property owners. Like these big commercial property owners have got all these retail shops which are empty. Retail's pretty dead now. To incentivize those owners to create, accommodation, simple accommodation in city centres, and give the incentive to the councils. The councils have a responsibility to house people, to get these homeless people off the streets into really just simple accommodation, so they have base needs covered. And in fact, those are human rights. The human rights, International Declaration of Human Rights, which followed the war. As well as things like water, energy, is somewhere to live. And we've really got to get back to these fundamentals. Water should be renationalised, energy should be renationalised, everyone should have a home over their head, and all of this nonsense planning things. I mean, the whole system is completely rotten and corrupt. It does not serve the people whatsoever. It only serves the big corporations and the money, and it has to change. And I'm feeling very passionate about it, having witnessed this
Yeah.
up front over the past few nights. So those are my two big messages. I might actually do a little video rant about it.
Yeah, you're on fire. I think you probably need to. I mean,
Anyhow, I'm conscious we're 101, so
we didn't start till 1:02 or something like that. But yeah, just to leave it that to actually live in a house, if you're an adult, to be able to have a roof over your head, you are forced, unless you really stand your ground, and then you've got a battle on your hands, like I have with the council tax, is that in order for you to have a roof over your head, you have to pay a fee just to exist. And that is what's outrageous. It's not valuing human life and the needs of humans. That should be priority, not the corporations. But unfortunately, that's the way the system has gone, isn't it? That's why we need to pull it round. And if everyone took an idea and started to focus on that, that's what we're going to build. So let us build a new world in a beautiful, harmonious experience that everybody's going to enjoy, and everyone is not in a state of scarcity or in war, fighting over everything. So let us be in a peaceful situation for ourselves. That's the only thing we can do, is work on our own environment, our own selves, and hopefully gather with other people who are like-minded and build that consciousness. So we've had a good session. It's been lovely seeing you all. I'm sorry we're going to have to go again. I think the next session will be with, unless she tells me otherwise, the 13th of July. Racing through this year. Can anyone believe how quickly we've got here? So it's like, what is it that you want to focus on for the next 6 months? Because this is a time to bring in your ideas, your imagination. Everything is possible when we have the right energy behind it. So lots of love to everybody, and much appreciate you all coming on. The 13th of July is our next session, again at 12. Please send the link, or send friends who'd like to come or have something to say, or they're always wanting to spout off in your company. Send them to the People Speaks Out, because we have a platform here for them to share their inner lives, their inner workings, and what's going on in your view. So much appreciate you all arriving and being here, and lots of love for the next couple of weeks. And let's just hope we've got more peace on the planet. So take care, and thanks again once again. Lots of love. Give us a wave, and I shall be putting this up on my YouTube channel, so those that haven't been able to arrive, or you want to just hear everything in more relaxed timing, then that will be where it is in a couple of days. Lots of love. Bye.